Hi everyone, it's Nicole from Sydney English Teacher and from the Successful English Learner by Sydney English Teacher. And I'd like to say a big thank you for joining me here today for session number 7 of my free weekly writing tasks. I can't believe we're already up to session number 7. As they say, time flies when you're having fun. And I really do hope that you're having fun and enjoying these free weekly sessions. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to join me and to focus on this important English skill. So thank you. Please also make sure that you're a member of my free learning community on Facebook, on the Facebook page Sydney English Teacher, in the Facebook group The Successful English Learner by Sydney English Teacher, and of course on my YouTube channel as well. And don't forget about my website and my blog because there's lots of learning materials waiting for you there as well. I don't want you to miss out on any learning opportunities. And as you know, I'm here to help you achieve English language success and to support you every step of the way. So let me join you on this journey. Join me and let's learn and improve together. If you're new to my learning community, I say a big welcome. If you've been with me for a while, I also say thank you for sticking around. And please remember to invite your family and friends to join us if you like learning with me and you think that they would enjoy learning as well. So, what is the plan for today? What are we going to focus on? Well, I have another great writing topic for you with lots of helpful writing tips and practice and feedback on the writing that I've seen so far. Okay, but before we begin, if you haven't seen the last 6 episodes of this series yet, here's a quick reminder to go back and to watch them and to complete the writing tasks. You know, it's well worth investing your time, especially if you want to improve this English skill. And don't forget, if there's anything at all that you're unsure of, or if you have any questions, I'm always here to help. So please ask, okay? So now it's time to do a quick recap of last week's writing topic and last week's writing session. Do you remember what it was about? I'll remind you in a second, and I'll also give you some general feedback about the writing that I have seen so far. Are you ready? Okay, so the topic of writing task 6 of last week's session was holidays. What a great topic, especially at this time of year when we're all dreaming of going on holidays. Am I right? So, I asked you to think about somewhere you've been in the past, a holiday that you have had in the past, which brings back great memories. And I gave you these focus questions to help you plan. They were, what was your best holiday ever? Where did you go? And what did you do? Would you go there again? Why or why not? And what made your holiday so special? What's your favorite memory of this holiday? It's lovely thinking about this topic, isn't it? If you haven't written about this topic yet, please take the time to sit down and to write about a page, okay? But not now. Don't write about it now because we're going to focus on writing task 7 in a minute. So be sure to find some extra time this week for writing task 6 for last week's writing task so that you can catch up. Okay? So that's my quick recap of last week's topic of writing task 6. But before we move on to this week's writing task, I'd like to give you some general feedback of some of the writing that I've seen so far. And I really hope that these tips will help you with this week's writing task and with the others as well. So, are you ready? Okay. My first piece of feedback is think carefully about your content, about what you'd like to write before you start writing. It's so important to have some ideas on paper before you begin so that you can put them in a logical order and so that it's a lot easier for others to read. And of course, so that what you're saying makes sense. If you just write what pops into your head, it's often a lot harder for you to express your thoughts. And it's definitely a lot harder for the reader to understand. So please always take a few minutes to think, to plan, to take notes before you begin the writing process. It will make things so much easier for you. And the bonus is that your writing will turn out so much better. That's what we want, isn't it? Okay, so another piece of advice that I have is to use a variety of vocabulary. Don't repeat the same words over and over again. You know, use every writing exercise as an opportunity to practice the vocabulary that you know, but also to stretch yourself and to try out some new vocabulary. How can you do this? Use a thesaurus to help you. You know, use alternative words to those that you already know. Or even better, read an article about the topic that you are writing about. And then go and borrow some of the great vocabulary that you see there in the article. How does that sound? Do you want some more feedback? Well, another tip that I have after seeing last week's writing tasks is to always remember that you're either writing something formal or informal, not both. So it's important to make sure that you don't mix formal and informal language together and you don't use them both in the same piece of writing. Having said that, please also remember that idioms are informal and so are abbreviations. So please stick to using them for informal topics only. Easy. The final piece of feedback for this week is when you are describing a place, in this case a holiday, don't just give a long list of adjectives. Instead, go into detail so that you are painting a picture for the reader so that they can actually see the place in their head. So include information about the location, where it is. Um, any in, for example, it's in central New York. Include any interesting facts. An example might be officially 5 million tourists visit per year. Include some information about its appearance. For example, you might say it's a beautiful old historical building with large windows, a huge balcony, and it's surrounded by breathtaking gardens. How nice is that? Maybe include some information about what is inside. For example, it's filled with countless paintings. Or maybe about what makes it special. It's filled with priceless artifacts. And finally, give your own opinion. Tell the reader what you think about it. For example, it's not to be missed. It's well worth the trip. Okay, so that's all the feedback for today. I hope that you found it really, really helpful. And I also hope it makes the writing and the planning process a little bit easier for you from now on. So now it's time to move on to this week's topic. Let's find out the topic for writing task number 7. Are you ready? Okay, so for this week's topic, we are going to focus on animals. Yeah, animals. If you're an animal lover just like me, you will absolutely love this topic and you'll love thinking and writing about these beautiful creatures. Do you have a favorite animal? Is there an animal that you've always been fascinated by? Well, that's what I'd like you to focus on this week. Choose an animal that you absolutely love. It can be any animal in the world. It can be one that you've seen, or it can be one that you'd like to see in the future. I'd like you to write about why you like this animal so much and also why you are so fascinated by it. What draws you to it? I'm going to give you some focus questions to really help you choose an animal and think about it and take some notes to help you with this week's writing task. Are you ready? So here are some questions. Come back to this slide and take notes. Or even better, click the pause button now and do your note taking now. Whatever's easier for you. But please don't skip this important planning section, okay? So the questions are number 1, which animal fascinates you the most and why? Number 2, have you ever seen this animal up close? Where did you see it? Was it at the zoo or maybe in the wild? Number 3, where can this animal usually be found? Maybe in the jungle or in the bush, in the desert, in the snow? Whereabouts in the world? Number 4, describe the appearance of this animal. What does it actually look like? Number 5, does your chosen animal have any special features? Is there anything that makes it unique? Number 6, do you know of any special facts about this animal? Perhaps what it eats, or how fast or slow it is, or something special that it does? And number 7, how does this animal make you feel? Do you feel happy, excited, scared, fascinated? Express your thoughts and feelings about that. So there you go. I hope these questions really help you with the planning and with the writing process. And I absolutely cannot wait to see which animal you actually choose. And of course, to read lots of interesting facts about the many beautiful animals around the world. So, now to the next question. How long should this writing task be? Well, as usual, I ask you to aim for about a page. But if you're going to answer all of the questions that I just asked, one page won't be enough. So let's see if we can stretch it out to about 2 pages this week. How does that sound? Can you do that? I'm sure you can. Do you want an extra challenge? Well, as every week, here I'm giving you some words to make your writing even more interesting. Try to include these words in this week's writing task. We've got a verb, which is rummage. We've got a noun, which is appearance, and we've got a great adjective, which is extraordinary. Or some people say extraordinary, but extraordinary. Extraordinary. There you go. So, 3 really lovely words to include if you decide to. That's all for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, I really, really appreciate that you've taken the time to join me for session number 7. Please take the next step as well. Don't just watch this video. I want you to actually do the writing task as well. And of course, if you have any questions, I'm here. I'm always here to help. So get in touch if you have any questions, okay? Well, I really hope you enjoyed session 7 and the topic and the tips. And I hope that you come back again next week for more. Session 8 will be a really good one, I promise. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and happy writing. Bye.